Good morning, everyone. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. Today, I want to get on and talk about how play can actually help you get your spark back. And here's the thing, what a lot of people don't recognize is that play can actually be a form of rest. So when I ask people, what's missing in your life? What aren't you doing or saying yes to that would bring you more joy? And, often they'll, say, like, I don't have time for hanging out with friends, or I don't have time or energy to pursue some of my hobbies, or there's lots of things that people aren't doing that actually bring them joy and could help them on their healing journey or on their growth journey. And when I ask why aren't you doing these things, the number one answer, of course, is I'm too exhausted all the time, or I don't have time. Time and exhaustion, time and energy, right? Time and energy. And yet, when you think about it, we have time in our day for lots of things, and we choose to spend them maybe scrolling on our phones or sitting and watching content, doing things that are just sort of passive, that don't involve a lot of energy. And, I'm not knocking those things in balance. I think realistically, in the world that we live in, and just the fact that we have these devices so easily available, and there's so much on there as far as like games and podcasts and videos and all kinds of really great stuff, but like in moderation, right? Really great things exist to help us have balance and to feel grounded and to feel less exhausted. All of those things have existed through time, right? And we know that things like exercise, being in nature, being around other people that are nurturing, building community, giving of ourselves, like volunteering our time and our energies to other things, all of those things we know actually can help elevate our own energies. So, if you're a people pleaser, you might think that, oh, because I volunteer all the time and I give all of my time and energies to this cause or that cause or these causes, that, I can't really complain that I'm feeling exhausted because, I'm doing good stuff and that fills me up. And yes, that can be true. But again, in moderation, right? So yes, there's some satisfaction to be gained from giving of oneself, and yet we need to find that fine line, right? So when I suggest that play is a form of rest, and that this kind of rest can actually fill you up and heal parts of you and help integrate parts of you to become more whole and grounded and anchored and energized. A lot of people push back on that. They're like, oh, I don't have time for that. I don't have the energy for that. I'm just barely getting by. I'm barely holding my head above water. And I get that. People are stressed to the max. And there's lots of talk about, eliminating stress from your life, or, just dealing with stress better. All of those things are true. They're challenging and they take energy, right? We know that to be true as well. So how do we find that balance between, I want to have boundaries and say no to things so that I can say yes to more of the things that I want, right? That's what we're wanting to probably address. So when you say, I don't have time or energy, I then would want to know, I'd be very curious to know, well, what are you spending your time and energies on? And ultimately, who does that help? Who does that benefit? And is it benefiting anyone really? Because a lot of times people, especially when you have young children, they'll be like, well, I'm busy with my young children and I need to do all of these things for them. And yet when you break it down, it's like, well, do you really need to do all of those things? Could they also thrive and feel connected to you if you were doing less of those things, but you were showing up more authentically, more balanced and calm? Right? So, then it comes down to quantity versus quality kind of questions too, right? So all of these things are things that you can explore in the therapeutic sessions that we would do, right? That I do with my clients. It's not enough to just say, well, I'm too tired to do those things. Why are you too tired? What are you saying yes to that you should be saying no to? And what stops you from that, right? So we can take those questions further and further and figure out what's really at play for you. What beliefs do you have around giving and your energies and play and work, right? So all of these things are things that we can kind of question and be curious about, because there's drivers behind those beliefs and those thinkings and those actions, right? So getting to know those can be really helpful in then having some clarity around, what do I want more of? What do I want less of? How do I achieve that? And so we can go from, and oftentimes this is a few, well, sometimes this is what happens with my clients. We have this relationship whereby we untie those knots, and through that, my clients gain a lot of clarity and insight into what's been motivating them and prompting them to behave in the ways that they behave. And then through that work, they recognize that maybe they're lacking in some skills that coaching would be more beneficial for. And so we've transitioned a number of times. I've transitioned with my clients to go from sort of that transformational relationship that we had that maybe only takes one or two sessions, and then we might move into more of a coaching type scenario whereby we're meeting for an hour and we're paying hourly for that time, and we're working on skills, on skill building and incorporating practices that will help you towards whatever goals and dreams you've sort of rediscovered in yourself, with this new vitality and energy that you have, along with that clarity that we gained in that therapeutic breakthrough, really, in the first ways that we work together. We can build on that. And there's times when I've worked with clients where we've had that transformation, and then they've gone on to seek guidance from other people because they recognize that there's some skills and resources that they're still needing in order to fill in gaps for lack of maybe knowledge or skills that, and techniques and things that will help them in their daily life, because like I do the coaching part, but maybe they want a different kind of approach than what I'm offering. So what I usually suggest to people is, if when you're listening to my videos and I'm suggesting something to you as a way of maybe helping you to think about things a little bit differently, or sort of question your own thoughts around these things, if you're coming up against resistance and you're coming up against the thought that, no, that's not for me, some of that is, of course, natural, and I'm not suggesting that everything that I say and share in these videos is for everyone. But if there's a part of what I'm saying resonates with you, but then you're still feeling that resistance to making whatever necessary changes you need to in order to have that vitality back and have that energy back, then that's where the therapeutic process can really help. And that's where maybe we sit down and we have a call where we talk about how my programs work and what program would be beneficial to you at this point in your growth and healing process. Because I'm not for everyone, and I understand that. Or what I'm offering is maybe not right at this time in one respect, but then my other offering might be exactly what you need at this point in your life. So figuring out what could be beneficial is why I offer a free consultation call. So reach out to me. You can private message me if you'd like to have this free call. We can take it as long as 45 minutes to do the call. I've done it in as little as 15 to 30 minutes, so it doesn't have to be this big thing because it's really about whatever you're wanting or needing. So if you're having questions around the work that I do and how I help people get their energy back and to feel more connected and energized and grounded and balanced, then that's what we can do during that call. I can answer any questions that you have in that regard, or we can just figure out maybe what's holding you back from really exploring different ways to get more energy in your life, to get more vitality, to get more joy, right? What's really stopping you from achieving that? So please feel free to reach out. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I hope you can find little ways to add play and rest into your day, whatever that looks like. And even if that does look like playing a game on your device, if it's something that you can do for a short period of time and you get that feeling of letting go for a moment of time, of just being able to let go of stressful thinking, let go of nagging thoughts, let go of negative thinking. If you can do that, then that's a benefit. But I think that we need to really recognize that some things have this sort of slippery slope of kind of, maybe veering into more of an addictive type component. And so we want to make sure that whatever we're turning to as our source of play and as our source of rest isn't going to lead to more challenges and less joy in our life, right? So finding that balance, finding that, tweaking it and finding that perfect space, that perfect way of finding peace in little increments or in ways that are healthy and that are going to boost the feel-good endorphins in our body, are going to promote brain growth and just encourage that energy flow. Those are the things that we're wanting more of, and figuring out ways to get that is really what I'm hoping to help you with if that's your challenge. So thank you for joining me. Namaste. Have a great rest of your day.